Lesson 3 of Unit 1 is going to help us understand how humans divide the land on Earth to fit their various needs. And we call these divisions political divisions. We're going to talk first about local political divisions. And people make local political divisions because they need a government that is closer to home. Here you see pictured the Norfolk City Council. City councils are needed because the state government can't handle all of our problems. Okay, they can't help us solve problems. We have our own money to spend, and so we need to be more in control of it at a local level. So local governments help solve local problems. They might also coordinate response to natural disasters. And we have a lot of resources here locally that it's just better if we handle them locally. So whether that's money or natural resources, it's just more efficient to have someone who is closer to that resource solve that issue or distribute that resource. So some examples of political divisions are the state, so the state of Virginia. Sometimes countries are also referred to as states as well. So if you ever hear anyone talk about a country as a state, that is valid. Within the United States, we tend to automatically think of a state as a state like Virginia or North Carolina. Within those states in the United States, like we learned last year in Virginia, there are counties, there are cities. Within cities and towns, there are neighborhoods. Zip codes are used by the United States Postal Service to divide up the land for easy mail distribution, okay, so that mail can be distributed efficiently. School districts help maintain schools and serve their needs of the students and parents in that population. And then election districts are ways that states are also divided. So let's look at that more closely, because this is a good example about how resources are used efficiently and how the national government can't always handle the problems or carry out things that need to be done. So state governments can't adequately oversee all of the elections that have to occur. However, they're required by the national government to carry out elections. So they divide the state into election districts, and they delegate power to individuals representing this state board of elections to carry out the elections within their districts. That way, a smaller group of people is tackling this issue of elections, and the state government can worry about other things. Sometimes several local political divisions work together to handle issues that affect these smaller groups. And this is kind of like a power in numbers situation, so that each individual city doesn't have to handle the issue. Several cities could work together, or several counties could work together. This happens for waste disposal. So your person that comes and picks up your garbage, the garbage truck that comes through the city, is actually from a regional company. Conservation districts, so if there's a natural resource like a river or a forest that needs to be conserved, a regional district will often handle that, because a river runs through multiple local divisions, and so one local division can't be the only one in charge of it. Planning districts, and this would be useful for like businesses. So sometimes several small political divisions, like several cities, might work together to make plans for developing businesses in that area. Magnet schools, like the Governor's School for the Arts, this is a regional district. Okay, so you might choose to apply to Governor's School as a rising ninth grader. And at Governor's School, there will not just be students from the city of Norfolk, they'll be coming from other places in Hampton Roads. And then transportation. You've probably seen HRT buses. HRT buses serve multiple localities. They don't just serve within the city of Norfolk and then stop. Okay, they can carry people into other parts of Hampton Roads. Now, countries are the most common political divisions that we'll talk about. However, countries often join together to form alliances because they have economic similarities and differences, because land needs to have someone in control of it, and often this is to manage historical boundaries, or it could be because of imperial conquests, okay, meaning colonized land. And so often there are disputes when this colonized land becomes an independent country, and often alliances are formed between those countries that were colonized by a common colonizer. And then also culture, language, and religion can encourage people to form alliances. So countries of similar cultures would group themselves together. For lesson 3, you have some additional things that you need to complete. One is a must-do reading strategy. The district says we have to engage in a reading strategy each day. And so this is our one for lesson 3. On the back of your notes page, you'll see a graphic organizer that lists these international or supranational organizations. And eMedia VA has a good interactive that will help you fill out that chart to learn more about them. That's a should do. If you're pressed for time, that's something you can skip. If you are working rather quickly and you've completed your must do's and that should do, you could go on to complete this geo inquiry. And it just looks at these different supranational organizations and how political divisions have functioned and worked together since 1945, which is after the end of World War II. You must do the checkpoint, and that is a quiz grade, and that will be in quizzes. So when you go to the back of the room to the checkpoint center, when you look in the envelope, you will see the code for the quizzes, and you'll need that to complete your checkpoint for Unit 1, Lesson 3.